What's going on, all you wild cannibals? It's your two favorite ghouls back here for Cinefellas. I'm Logan Myers. It's my good mate
Henry Hill, and we're back today to talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. The buzz is back.
So yeah, this is a sequel to the original film that came out in 1974. This movie came out in 1986, so it's 12 years later. And Uncle Toby Hooper went about this a different way than most sequels, kind of follow the same kind of formula. This one has a more dark and comedic approach and gory approach to it. And you don't really take it as serious, not to mention a lot of the actors didn't return for the sequel. Only one actor from the first movie. But the setup in this film is more of the crazy wild family, Leatherface and his twisted family, and having to do with a radio host, Stretch, that's played by Caroline Williams, one of my favorite actresses in the genre. We met her a few times right here in Chicago at the flashback and horror conventions many times. Always cool to talk to her and a few of the cast members from this movie. More importantly, Bill Moseley playing Chop Top. Eat my plate, you dog dick. He's got the metal plate in his head in this movie. He's like an like hippie, and he's always scratching it and shit. But he's, dark and demented. Before he was Otis in Rob Zombie's films, he was Chop Top in Texas Chainsaw 2. And he's really great. One of the better performances in this. This movie is so ridiculous and over the top. And not to mention, Leatherface is played by Gunnar Hansen in this film, played by Bill Johnson. And he does this like weird dance throughout the movie. He's got the chainsaw. Like, I don't know, it's like the 80s twerk or something, but his mask looks all weird. And I don't know, I didn't like the mask in this one as much, but it's, it's more of a comedy. It seems like more of a parody than an actual sequel, but it's a fun movie. It's a fun B movie, and they don't take itself too seriously. Just a fun, gory, good time. Lots of great kill scenes, lots of gore. Lots of great one-liners, especially Chop Top's character, but definitely one of the better films in 1986 that really has a cult following now.
I was eating lunch and watching this film on Amazon Prime just to get reacquainted with it, and it made me sick to my stomach, just the amount of gore, the excessive amount of gore, just all the gross, creepy stuff between Leatherface and Stretch there. There's this one uncomfortable scene where he's got the chainsaw up against her. And he's sort of revving it up, and she's acting like, she likes it. There's some creepy, uncomfortable situations in this movie, like every 5 minutes. So I recommend not eating when you're watching this. But it's definitely a cult classic, and Bill Moseley does a great job in this role. He's really creepy. His teeth are rotting. Like you mentioned, he has a coat hanger, and he uses the sharp end of it to scratch on the plate, the skin on the side of his metal plate on his head. And he takes a little chunks of skin and he eats them when he's talking to her in the beginning. It's really gross, really nasty. Sets the tone for the rest of the movie. This is just gore galore. If you like gore, this is a movie for you. You see hammers to the head, and the camera stays on it. It doesn't pull away. It shows a hammer hitting the head multiple times. You just see this guy's head caving in before your eyes. You see like sectional of skin off a guy's stomach, so you can see the exposed rib cage. You see, obviously you see faces ripped off. You see pretty much everything in this film. In the beginning scene, you have these two little nerds that come across, the family on the street, which sets up this silly little chase where they're driving down this bridge. They're going side by side. Leatherface, I guess Leatherface isn't on the truck, but they're going side to side, and they're trying to get at these two nerds. And instead of stopping and maybe going the other way, they just keep going the same speed. So they're literally side by side for like a mile down the road until it leads to this huge crash and starts out the movie. Then you see Dennis Hopper's character sort of start the tale about how, there's been a legend of this family and all these murders that have happened in this small Texas town, but nobody's ever found the place or found the family. So Dennis Hopper's character is going to go after them. And he wants the help of Stretch at the radio station to sort of, get the word out about the family. And the family ends up going to visit Stretch at the station there, and it sets up the rest of the movie, which is just pure chaos and crazy gore and some really out there scenes. This one's definitely a cult classic. It's a fun one to watch. Just don't have anything to eat is my advice.
Yeah, I think even Dennis Hopper's character is even more crazy than the family. Like he goes nuts in this movie.
Yes.
Playing the Texas Marshal or whatever he is. Yeah, with the cowboy hat. He's just fucking nuts. And the scenes with the chainsaws especially, but definitely one of the better entries. I love it because it doesn't take itself seriously. It's a fun movie. Tobe Hooper didn't really give a shit, and he took it a different way instead of following the same approach in the first film. So, and not to mention it was put out 12 years after the first film. So maybe he was feeling different in life and trying something different in the 80s. And for me, I think it really works. It's a fun movie to revisit during the Halloween season, especially if you like blood and gore and guts and all that. And just a great slasher flick. This is a fun movie to watch during the Halloween season with your loved one. And so with that being said, I'll give Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 chopped up hair pieces.
And I'm going to give Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and all the shenanigans that ensue a 3.5 out of 5 Leatherface chainsaw hair pieces. Oh no, they chopped my top.
Where's that hairpiece at when you need it? So hopefully y'all have been enjoying our reviews this month of October for 31 Days of Horror. We'll be back pretty much every day of the month. We're going to try to at least review some old and new horror flicks and some TV shows as well. So definitely check us out and hit subscribe below. And also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our website, cinefellas.com, for the latest and greatest in horror macabre.
Thank you guys for following along with us in this 31 Days of Horror. We're having a blast review these old horror movies, these classics that we grew up with, these cult classics and classics alike, all the gore and shenanigans and scares that come along with it. This is our favorite month of the year, and we can't wait to share more of our reviews and thoughts on these films with you guys. We will be back once again. I'm Henry Hill.
And I'm Lieutenant Lefty. We'll be back very soon for more reviews. Until next time. Cheers. God bless you, Dennis Hopper.